I just finished this video that you're about to see here, and when I was done, in my feed came up a video about the YouTube Christian grift, and I was just talking about it in this video, and it was this woman named Candace, and I was like, wow, that's great, you know, more people have to talk about this stuff, because you get heat from it, you know. I don't talk about it too often because I don't want to deal with them, but her whole channel is just calling these guys out, and it's awesome. It's so good to see, you know. You have to check this out. But yeah, thanks for stopping in. On YouTube last night, I'm just looking at some information about Anton LaVey, who was the head of the Satanic Church, and I forget what they said. I mean, the official narrative is about him dying, maybe he had cancer or something. But from what I saw being talked about and discussed in comments, was that what happened to him was he was astral projecting, and he was trying to reach some girl, probably for nefarious purposes, I'm sure, and while he was in the astral plane, and some Christians that were protecting her clipped his cord, the cord that connects you from your navel to your actual body, and that's what killed him. Pretty interesting. I don't know if that's true, but interesting stuff. There's a lot of Satanists on YouTube, you know, probably just as many. Well, there's just as many, because the new Christian grift is pretty popular right now. Just to, you know, say you're a Christian and talk about the Bible and the Lord, and
I don't need to like.
And a lot of them are just so boring. You know, I know you can. I know there's certain things you feel you have to do to present yourself as a Christian and all that, but shit, man, you don't have to be boring. It's like we need people that are as engaging and dynamic as some of these Satanists. You know, it's always been that way, though, with like the good guys and bad guys. You know, you watch Star Wars and the Empire's got all the cool shit, you know, the cool outfits and the cool design, and the rebels always look like gas station workers. We have the same kind of image problem, but yeah, the grifting on YouTube is just crazy. It'll die down. Like right now, it's kind of a fad, but the people that are really into it for the message and the ideas and God they'll remain, you know, they'll stick around. But yeah, anytime like the guys that are more sincere, you know, it's just like a guy in a room just talking at the camera. And it's like, oh, I can't, it doesn't even matter if it's Christianity or whatever. I have a hard time with guy in room looking at camera. It's just like, it's boring to me. You know, sitting and staring at someone's face for 45 minutes. And I know, I mean, what I do a lot of times is I listen to it like a radio show. I'll put the phone down and listen to it. But I think that's like an old person thing, because I'm used to doing that, you know. I grew up on radio, so, especially talk radio. I don't mind listening to it. But these days, like, especially the younger people, they're very visual, you know. And it's just, you have to do something that grabs their attention. I mean, we're living in this very short attention span age. And I'm not even saying you have to do like a TikTok thing. That's impossible to keep up with as far as getting attention there. In that space, you're going up against corporations who R&D that stuff to a weapons grade presentation. You know, a lot of those famous TikTokers and YouTube people too as well are repped by Hollywood agencies, CCA, and a lot of, you know, people like a Moist Critical, for example. He has the same agency as like actors, you know. I'm out here walking, so I can't really, I don't notes on this, but you can look at this stuff yourself, you know. And it works just like every other industry, like how the music industry used to work. You have like two different kinds of people or artists. You have ones that are the beast makes himself, like a Backstreet Boys situation, except it's not as blatant, you know, like the Sex Pistols, for instance, who, you know, one of my favorite bands, but they were about, you know, I don't know, John Lydon doesn't like when people say that, but it's very much a Backstreet Boys. Like, so was The Clash, so was The Damned, so was that whole UK punk scene. It was a whole MI6 / Mossad operation. And the new set, I gotta get back to that sexless thing, but anyway, yeah, hold on a second, sorry. Reason. The Berlin Wall. Yeah, so what happens, like in the music business, they'll either make someone whole cloth, or they'll find someone that they think they can take and then form them into a certain role or fill a role, or they'll glom on to, like, you know, let's see someone has something going. It's very much the same way with the YouTube situation. I mean, I don't know what the number is as far as when they start looking at you, but I don't know many people over 500K or maybe even 100K, way less than what am I talking about. I have the 50K walk away slogan. That's what I do. 50K, walk away. I can still like watch them, but I don't take them seriously, you know, or I don't get too invested in what they're saying. I got to keep in mind that, you know, that's this is all a fucking grip, you know, because what happens is if they see you getting that much attention, they swoop in and we'll manage you. We'll give you even these partnerships with these like ad things, like or these YouTube partnerships for money. It's all just different tentacles of the beast, just extensions. And as you get more followers or more people looking at you, you just get higher up the chain until you're like at a client at one of these Hollywood agencies. And then they also make their own plants, you know, where they put them in there. But as far as a person on the street picking up their phone like I do, no one's gonna see you. You know, I mean, as far as the big and the mainstream type of thing, or the large scale, you know, I'm very lucky. I have some of you guys that have been coming here for years, and I really appreciate it. It's very cool. I'm glad, you know. I know some of your like lives, and if you have families and where you live, and it's nice to catch up with you, and you know, that's very cool. I don't think I would do well with any larger than I had, you know, because I just think that would be problems. I was really sheepish when I first started doing this. I remember telling Nia, I'm like, all right, if I get 100 subs, I'm gonna stop. You know, because there's just too many people. Like, I'm real paranoid about that kind of stuff. But then after a while, you know, once I've been doing it for so long, it's like, what else is there? Everybody knows everything about me that would want to know about me. So whatever. At one point, it's just whatever. But yeah, it's just, it seems like there's just more problems, more psychos, more weirdos. Like in the time I've been doing it, with the small audience I've had, I run into people that are just like, they just want to like mess with you for some reason. And I always defuse that shit. I always get out of it. But yeah, you meet a lot of fucking psychos out there. In the real world and on the interwebs. Yeah, Sex Pistols, with that new singer there, Frank Ocean? Fuck is his name? Is it Frank Ocean? I could be wrong. I know his name. I know who he is. I can't think of it right now. But it was pretty good. I saw some footage from the first show there, and Yeah, I was prepared to hate it because, I love John so much. But, yeah, not bad. They have more shows coming up. Not only at that venue, but at some different venues now. Or they have one outside that venue. I guess when they had the court thing with John a couple years ago over the Pistol movie, which I covered here very in depth. When he was in court with them and he lost his case, I guess part of that was that they can now do projects as the Sex Pistols using all the marks and the name and everything without even consulting him. So to that end, Glenn Matlock, the bass player, was talking about continuing on, and he didn't say whether or not it would still be this Frank guy, Frank Turner, not Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean's like a mellow guy. That would be funny. But yeah, he didn't say specifically that they were going to continue with him, but he made the indication that they would continue because he was saying that so many bands now tour without their original singer. He was kind of making a case for bands doing business with new members, and he seems like that's what they want to do, whoever will be the singer, whatever. And they wanted to record new material. They wanted to record new material with John when they first got together, and they started to, I guess, or they talked about it, and John ultimately didn't want to do it. I think that was a good idea. I mean, I think if we had our reunion album from them back in '96, it might be cool, but it wouldn't, it wouldn't be something we'd be talking about now. It's more like a product, it's more just something new to sell when you're on tour. Oh, these guys are scary. I always talk about the garbage guys because they drive wicked fast, and they always got all this very heavy stuff with them. And in my opinion, a lot of them are kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Stimulated. In fact, they've had a couple breakdowns where guys were working just kind of freaked out from too much stimulation, and they put the cops on a chase up and down these streets. Happened a couple times. One morning, me and Nia saw one where the guy just kind of freaked out. He had too much stimulation. I get it, they start early and they got to get everything done by this time or a certain time, but you stay the fuck out of their way. A lot of people do stimulants here, like regular people you'd never imagine. The regular working people, because people have to work so hard, especially if they have a family. They got to do several jobs just to live here, to afford to survive, so they don't have to move to fucking Las Vegas or the woods, and that's like aggravating when you see all these new people that are on the SSDI CIA program, because it's like they're living here for free. But part of that, they have to do work, I guess. There's a job involved in that. Someone's telling me about what the deal is with that. They have to work like 20 hours, or are supposed to, or if they do, they get extra money, because they can't be forced. You're never going to force people to work. I mean, especially from that certain demographic of people coming from bad neighborhoods, used to being on services. Speaking of this, there was one woman that was working at the ABC up the road from me, the one at the end of my street, who just didn't like me. Like, she didn't like the way I looked. I'm very white, I'm very white, blonde hair, green eyes. That triggers some people. So I could tell I was getting a vibe from her, definitely. And one day I'm in front of the store, and I'm like looking at Nia, who's in the store, and she thought I was eyeing her. She's like a butch kind of lesbian, bald-headed hoe. bald-headed hoe, like Willie D from Ghetto Boys, that old song. And so she started getting like real antsy and almost said the wrong word there. It started getting really upset and like shifting back in space and like looking back in place and looking at me like a bull, you know, getting ready to come out. And then Nia walks up, she's like, why is she staring at you like that? And I'm like, because she thinks when I was trying to talk to you in line, she thought I was looking at her. And she's like, what the fuck's she looking at you? And we're away from the store now, right? We're like on the way up the street. We're nowhere near the property. She comes running out, like waddling fast. And she's like, I don't need this shit. I worked 8 hours today. And we're like, yeah? She goes, 8 hours. We're like, that's a person that doesn't work normally. But yeah, it was funny because it's like, aren't you supposed to be the security guard for this place? Why are you out here yelling at us? You know, it's fucking bizarre. But yeah, so as part of it, they can work, but it's because they get extra money if they do. It was the same way. SSDI has always been like that. And the reason it's SSDI instead of welfare, I believe, is because what happens is they can hide the SSDI because it could be related to medical, or because it usually is, you know, SSDI is disability. So they might not have to list that the same way, because, I mean, if you put everybody on welfare, they would have seen a huge jump in the welfare from, you know, 2020 till now when they first started bringing people in. So yeah, so I because what happened too, and since that time, around that time too, when we started noticing her there, I talked about it in videos. I'm like, there's something going on with the security guards here. They're all kind of the same, and I would, like, you know, run the camera over to show you what I'm talking about. It's like that they had a lot of people that had just moved here that were working. So I think they had something worked out with security companies or something. A lot of them aren't there anymore though. Like, they, you know, it's not a huge surprise. But yeah, she was one of the new residents who was on the job option for the CIA operation, and screaming, I worked 8 hours! 8 hours! And me and Nia like, yeah? Nia's like, I work fucking, you know, she's thinking, didn't say anything. She's like, I work like fucking 14. And it was like, this is a person that doesn't work, or doesn't really know anybody that works. So yeah. Sex pistols, YouTube Christians, immigration, forced immigration. I think we covered it all. I'm gonna just walk on home now and chill out, have my third cup of coffee. And I gotta finish editing a video from yesterday. But that stuff's all my problem. It's not your problem. Thanks for dropping in. Till next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.